据说古地洞府就在这所学院，
给我拆了这所。
The Hun clan is hunting for the fragments of the Tuasha ancient jade. They already possess 4 fragments, and they are doing everything in their power to obtain Xiao Yan's ancient jade. But they are also interested in the Tuasha ancient jade belonging to the Gu clan. How will Hun Tiendi obtain it? Could Gu Yuan, the 9-star peak stage saint, really allow that to happen? According to the original story, the Hun clan will attack the Gu clan very soon. This will happen after the events surrounding the Yao clan. Indeed, Hun Tiendi fears no one, going as far as to attack the strongest of the ancient clans that still exists today. How will this end? Let's take a look. But first, leave a like and write a comment to support the video. At that time, Xiao Yan was also in the Gu clan, and he witnessed these horrifying events with his own eyes. Officially, this would be his first meeting with Hun Tiendi himself. Gu Yuan stood in the sky. He raised his head and looked toward the empty space. Hun Tiendi, considering your status, do you really need to act so secretly? Gu Yuan's voice caused everyone present to freeze in place. Dou Qi began surging out from the bodies of the members of the Black Army. Hun Tiendi. The name spoken by Gu Yuan continuously echoed in Xiao Yan's ears. His fist suddenly clenched tightly. The main culprit who had nearly destroyed the Xiao clan had finally appeared. The 3 Gu clan elders almost simultaneously shot into the sky. Gu clan, alert. Immediately, countless streaks of light rose into the sky. All the experts of the Gu clan were thrown into a state of alarm. A mighty aura surged outward. The sheer lineup of experts made Xiao Yan's heart turn cold. This was the full strength of the Gu clan. Gu Yuan's body floated in the sky, emitting a powerful Dou Qi. His gaze remained fixed on a single point, never wavering. Clan Chief Yan Jin and Lei Ying appeared beside Gu Yuan. Their eyes were fixed ahead, yet they could not sense anything. Even with their tremendous strength, they were still deeply wary of this man from the Hun clan. Hun Tiendi is really here? Could it be that they intend to attack the Gu clan? Yan Jin asked in a deep voice. The Gu clan was not a clan that the other ancient clans could easily compare with. Even if the Hun clan launched an attack, it would be extremely difficult for them to destroy the Gu clan the way they had destroyed the Ling clan or the Shi clan. Gu Yuan did not answer. After a minute, the empty space began to ripple. A voice slowly rang out. Haha, Gu Yuan, it has been a long time since our last meeting, but your perception is still as sharp as ever. A figure slowly stepped out from the spatial rift. The first impression this man gave was one of refinement. If he had been holding a book in his hand, he probably would not have looked any different from an ordinary scholar. However, it was precisely this wise and scholarly appearance that caused Gu Yuan, Lei Ying, and Yan Jin, the 3 chiefs of the ancient clans, to become extremely serious. Is this Hun Tiendi? Xiao Yan was astonished by what he saw. He simply could not connect this seemingly gentle and good-natured man with the most sinister faction on the continent. Several other human figures emerged one after another. One of them was the Nihility-devouring flame, whom Xiao Yan had encountered in the Yao realm. Behind it stood the so-called demonic saints of the Hun clan. Throughout the entire Dou Qi continent, it would be extremely difficult to find a lineup of this level. With the appearance of these people, all the elders of the Gu clan immediately became tense. Numerous defensive barriers rose throughout the mountains. Hun Tiendi spoke in a gentle voice. Haha, the Gu clan really is lively. Gu Yuan, Lei Ying, Yan Jin. The 4 of us probably haven't gathered together like this for thousands of years. Have we? But Gu Yuan abruptly interrupted him. Hun Tiendi, this is not a place you can simply come and go as you please. Hun Tiendi laughed. There is no place I cannot go. Lei Ying shouted sternly. Hun Tiendi, is your Hun clan responsible for the disappearance of the Ling, Shi, and Yao clans? Although he was already aware of the situation, he still wanted to hear the confirmation directly from Hun Tiendi. There are some questions whose answers you should not know, Hun Tiendi replied casually. A coldness emanated from his gaze. But after hearing this answer, Lei Ying and Yan Jin understood everything. You really are responsible. Gu Yuan mentioned that he regretted not destroying the Nihility devouring flame in the past. But the flame replied, "I should actually thank you. If I had not entered 1,000-year seclusion, I fear I would never have been able to reach the level of a 9-star saint." Everyone was shocked except Gu Yuan. A 9-star saint. This was the highest level of existence in this world. In other words, it meant that the Hun clan possessed 2 9-star saints. Xiao Yan's expression darkened at this moment. 2 9-star saints. Even the Gu clan could not compare with such strength. No wonder the Nihility devouring flame had been able to defeat the fragment of the Yao ancestor's soul. Hun Tiendi, if you intend to attack the Gu clan after bringing so many people, it is quite likely that this will still not be enough, Gu Yuan said calmly. Unexpectedly, Hun Tiendi agreed that these forces were indeed insufficient. That only made Xiao Yan even more alert. If Hun Tiendi had not come to attack the Gu clan, then what exactly was his purpose? Xiao Yan could not understand why the Hun clan's army remained completely inactive. They did not attack or take any obvious action. They simply held their opponents in place. Xiao Yan understood perfectly well that someone like Hun Tiendi would never do anything meaningless. For a moment, he thought that the enemies might be secretly setting up some kind of formation or preparing a trap. But he immediately discarded this possibility. After all, Gu Yuan was an incredibly powerful expert, equal to Hun Tiendi himself. It would be almost impossible to conceal such preparations from him. Unlike Yao Dan, who had been caught completely off guard, Gu Yuan was not nearly as vulnerable. Meanwhile, Yan Jin also sensed that something was wrong and loudly warned. Clan Chief Gu Yuan, be careful. However, Hun Tiendi merely smiled at these words. He calmly stood there with his hands behind his back, saying nothing. The entire Hun clan army continued floating in the air, simply restraining the forces of the Gu clan. This strange scene caused Xiao Yan's uneasiness to grow stronger and stronger. He instantly moved toward Gu sooner. If something unexpected happened, he had to be beside her. Suddenly, an idea flashed through Xiao Yan's mind. He abruptly looked at Sooner and asked, "Is the ancient Jade of the Gu clan with your father right now?" The girl was slightly surprised by the question. After hesitating for a moment, she shook her head. "No. The ancient Jade is kept in the ancestral hall. It is the most heavily guarded place in our clan." Xiao Yan immediately asked another question. "But almost all of the powerful experts have already arrived here, haven't they?" Gu Sooner carefully looked around and suddenly changed expression. She indeed noticed that practically all of the strongest guardians of the ancestral hall were now on the battlefield. It was at this exact moment that Xiao Yan finally understood everything. The true target of the Hun clan was not the Gu clan itself. They wanted the Tuasha ancient Jade. His expression instantly darkened. Raising his head, he shouted with all his strength, "Uncle Gu, be careful. Their target is the Gu clan's Tuasha ancient Jade." Gu Yuan's expression changed drastically. But before he could issue an order, a deafening alarm suddenly sounded from deep within the mountain range. It was the alarm of the ancestral hall. Its piercing cry instantly spread throughout the entire realm of the Gu clan. Everyone present immediately understood that something extraordinary had happened. Gu Yuan's face became icy cold. He stared at Hun Tiendi and uttered only one name. Hun Tiendi. At that very moment, the surrounding world changed. The sky rapidly darkened, while behind Gu Yuan, an endless amount of natural energy began to gather. It transformed into a gigantic energy tide that connected heaven and earth. From a distance, it looked as though an endless ocean was surging toward the world. Phenomena of this scale normally appeared only once every several hundred years during natural disasters. But now, this terrifying tide had appeared because of nothing more than a single thought from Gu Yuan. Such was the power of a peak 9-star saint. Even the demonic saints of the Hun clan, including Hun Yan, felt an enormous pressure descend upon them. They understood that if they dared to approach Gu Yuan, they would not be able to withstand even a couple of his attacks. Their bodies and souls would be destroyed completely, without leaving anything behind. Only 2 people remained completely calm before this terrifying scene: Hun Tiendi and the Nihility devouring flame. At this moment, a streak of light shot out from deep within the mountains. A heavily wounded elder flew into the air and shouted desperately, "Clan Chief!" Elder Gu Yun wounded the guardian of the ancestral hall and stole the Tuasha ancient jade. These words struck every member of the Gu clan like thunder. No one could believe what they had just heard. Elder Gu Yun, even sooner, cried out in shock. She simply could not accept such news. Gu Yun was the second elder of the ancestral hall. He had guarded it for hundreds of years, had always been absolutely loyal to the Gu clan, and was deeply respected by everyone. How could someone like him steal the Tuasha ancient jade? Even she could not believe it. Xiao Yan asked grimly, could he have been a spy from the Hun clan all along? But Gu Suner only shook her head in confusion. She had known Gu Yun since childhood and could not imagine that he was capable of betraying the Gu clan. Meanwhile, Clan Chief Gu Yuan coldly stared at Hun Tiendi. Did you do this? Hun Tiendi merely gave him a mysterious smile and said nothing. He did not even attempt to leave. He continued standing calmly before Gu Yuan, fully aware that Gu Yuan could not leave the battlefield. If Gu Yuan rushed after the thief, no one would be able to stop Hun Tiendi himself or protect the people gathered here. Gu Yuan understood this calculation perfectly well. Despite the loss of the Tuasha ancient jade, he quickly regained his composure. At his level, it was impossible to allow emotions to take control. He immediately began issuing orders. Seal the Gu realm at once. Gu Dao, the three of you will lead the Black Army and begin the search. Find Gu Yun. The three elders of the Gu clan immediately obeyed. However, just as they were about to depart, four demonic saints of the Hun clan stepped forward, completely blocking their path. Hun Tiendi laughed loudly. Ha ha, Gu Yuan, these people are not going anywhere. Gu Yuan's reply was cold and brief. That is not for you to decide. He took a step forward. Behind him, the gigantic energy tide instantly began to move, transforming into an enormous palm more than 100,000 meters long. It crashed directly toward Hun Tiendi. The very space along its path began to collapse. Even an ordinary strike from an expert of this level could tear space apart. However, Hun Tiendi merely smiled calmly. So you have finally decided to fight? But you understand that this will change nothing, don't you? He raised his palm. A black hole instantly appeared within it. In the blink of an eye, it expanded to a terrifying size. Even from a great distance, Xiao Yan felt a chill run down his spine. He was certain that if anyone were swallowed by this bottomless darkness, not only their body but even their soul would disappear completely. The gigantic energy tide palm collided with the enormous black hole. There was no explosion. Only the surrounding space became covered with countless cracks. If the Gu realm had not been reinforced over many thousands of years, this single collision would have been enough to completely destroy everything around them. Seeing that the battle between the strongest experts had finally begun, Yan Jin and Lei Ying exchanged glances. They understood perfectly well that if the Gu clan fell today, the Yan and Lei clans would inevitably become the next victims. There was no more time for hesitation. Yan Jin shouted, "Attack!" In the next second, he and Lei Ying simultaneously charged forward. Two terrifying 8-star Saint Auras soared into the heavens, causing the very space around them to tremble. Aside from Gu Yuan, Hun Tiendi, and the Nihility Devouring Flame, they were considered the strongest experts on the entire continent. Their joint entry into the battle instantly transformed the confrontation into a full-scale war between the ancient clans. This moment became a turning point in the entire story. The Hun clan had managed to deceive the strongest clan on the continent, forcing it to gather all of its protectors in one place while the real strike was launched against the ancestral hall. The loss of the Tuasha ancient jade meant that the Hun clan had moved one step closer to its ultimate goal. At the same time, it became clear that this confrontation could no longer be stopped. The ancient clans had finally united against a common enemy, and the battle between the strongest experts on the continent had only just begun. Write in the comments what you think about this attack by the Hun clan. Will they really obtain the Tuasha ancient jade? Let's reach 500 likes for the continuation. Thank you all for your support, and see you very soon.